largely CCAM has been working on, from the beginning when we began around in terms of uh, looking at the innovation space and entrepreneurship as a vehicle to build innovation space around 2013, and we have been philosophy that we attempted to build because the environment we are in. So we are in a larger environment of Bangalore Life Science Cluster, which is, which originally started by NCBS, which is National Center of Biological Sciences, way back in 90s. So our entire culture, our entire thought process was built by the environment we are getting into. The environment was significantly strong in terms of what one would call it as a strong science, but top-notch quality science. With that culture and environment, we began to look at even entrepreneurship and innovation from the same mindset that let's do something that is truly remarkable, which has a global, uh, you know, uh, feel to it, which has a global competitive feel to it, and which can be breakthrough in nature. I would say that, I think in TB, if I step back, one of the challenges that we have is that we do not have uh, the clear articulation of by somebody who says this is the problem. We are continuing with the problems which are or problem statements which are have been said for long enough, but we are not breaking down the problems and saying that let's solve small at a time. These are India specific problems which global. So because what happens is our perspectives. If it has been solved somewhere, we can say no, it has been solved. Why are you reinventing the wheel? But the reason that solution hasn't worked in India because there are nuances which we haven't articulated enough. Right. And we need to then have a new problem statement for that and say this is why this is not working and this is the circumstances. Can you solve it? So you have to redefine the problem sometime. And this is something that we feel very strongly, and I would like to believe that TB or legacy ones and agriculture is exactly like this, where everyone thinks that no, everyone knows what is the problem, and that's where the solutions don't happen. So I think we have to kind of sometimes step back and allow new eyes to go in the field and saying that you come back. You don't get influenced by what is being said about what. You come back and say what is happening in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, cities or towns or villages and so on, and where the problem is. You don't get influenced even by the practitioners because again, we want new perspectives. You don't get influenced, you get their inputs, but don't get influenced completely by them. We need a new effort of sorts, according to me, for things which have been around for a while but haven't solved themselves for now. So that is one. The second thing, what possibly what we need to do at the same time is that allow, once identified, allow possibilities of what one would call it as, the consortium play. And if because you have mentioned research, I think this is where we can actually do a lot. There's a lot of work being done. So instead of everyone, doing their bit here and there, can we have a very coordinated effort to for whatever required against that particular challenge or a grand challenge or a problem? How can we have a clear timeline and deliverable for that consortium in 3 years with somebody leading it, who takes the ownership, who runs hard, and keep people in the loop and making sure that the integration happens time to time. And those are the crucial components, according to me, for solving something that has been, lingering around for a while. And make small changes. We don't need to really solve it on a day one, but let's make small changes, make delivery aspect changes, make prevention aspect changes, whatever. But let's make small changes and build it from there. So those would be my quick thoughts on that.